Welcome to another book talk with Livingston Parish Library. My name is Danielle. I am the branch manager of the Watson branch, and today I am very excited to talk about a huge popular genre in middle grade fiction at the library, but also like just generally. It's a huge publishing trend right now, and I can see why, because it's fantastic. But today we're going to be talking all about middle grade mythology books. So this first book centers around one of my favorite mythologies and pantheons of all time. I have been obsessed with this mythology for a long time. I'm obsessed with all mythology. A little fact about me is I love mythology and I love to study like it from around the world, all different kinds. It's like one of my favorite things. But this one is probably one of my favorites. So this first book is set in the Norse mythology, or like the Vikings. So Odin and Thor and Loki, that's what this is set in. So this first book is called The Last Shadow Warrior by Sam Subity. The Last Shadow Warrior centers around our main character, Abby Beckett, who is descended from a long line of Viking warriors known as the Aesir. And the Aesir spend their whole life training to fight and defeat the Grendels, which is an ancient foe of the Aesir. So Abby is training to be an Aesir just like her mother was before she died. But there's one teensy problem. Nobody has seen a Grendel for like centuries, so the Viking Council wants to disband the Aesir forever. So when her father is injured and ends up in a coma, she is sent to Vale Hall, which is a boarding school kind of tucked off in Minnesota. And when she gets there, she realizes things are not as they should be. Turns out the Grendel are back, and they are hunting her and trying to take out the Aesir. So when she alerts the Viking Council, they say that she is just making up stories, just like her mother, and just kind of like write her off as making up stories, which, rude. So Abby is desperate to save her father and clear her and her mother's names. So she goes on this epic quest to find out the truth. And in that time, she comes into contact with some unlikely villains in the story. So one of them is a ping pong playing sea monster who has a wicked backhand. And there's also a rogue Valkyrie who is really involved in bingo. So as it seems that somebody is trying to stop her and take out this Aesir forever, it is up to Abby to save all of the Aesir and also all of the Vikings as they know it. So this book has a lot of adventure, a lot of fun, and it's oftentimes funny, and it kind of blends the old story of Beowulf and like kind of a Percy Jackson mashup. It's a really good, fun mythology adventure, especially if you love Norse mythology. This next book is a vastly different story than the last, but that makes things fun, like to keep it interesting. So this is called Alessia in Atlantis, The Forbidden Vial by Natalie Lane. It is not unusual for 12-year-old Alessia to lose control of her emotions and cause a scene at school. But it is unusual to have her attacked by a giant frog monster and then end up under the ocean in an upturned boat, and it turns out she finds this place called Atlantis. So you may be thinking, as am I, of like, oh wait, how can she survive under the ocean, especially long enough to find Atlantis? What's happening? Well, it turns out that her father may be from Atlantis. When she arrives in Atlantis, she learns that her long-lost father is from Atlantis and she is a descendant. So she decides to stick around and figure out what's going on, and she enrolls into the Atlantide school called the Octopus Garden. So at this school, she's making lots of friends, but she's not getting a lot of answers, especially when the tyrannical Atlantide emperor says, you cannot talk about missing people. It's forbidden, no discussions, end of story. So in order to get some answers, Alessia goes on a journey with her newfound friends. She will have to steal evidence from a grumpy teacher. She may come in contact with some rebel merfolk and have to fight her way through it, and she might also have to meet some menacing blue people in order to discover the key to her past. But as it turns out, someone knows exactly who her father is and is desperate to keep her from learning it. This book has everything. It's action-packed, there's lots of adventure, there's a little bit of mystery, there's really good, like, strong friendship groups, which I love, and it's set underwater. Cool. Our last book is under the Rick Riordan Presents label. Now, if you don't know about Rick Riordan Presents, what rock have you been living under? So Rick Riordan is like a pioneer in middle grade mythology books. He did the Percy Jackson series and then all of the other series that went along with it. So now he has his own label that he's helping other authors publish their mythology books, and they're set for mythologies all over the world. So Rick Riordan really focused on Roman and Greek mythology. He had some Egyptian, and I think he had a Norse mythology book. But this time he is getting other authors to write about their own cultures and their own mythologies. There's lots of different books under the Rick Riordan Presents labels, and so many good ones. They're all reminiscent of the Percy Jackson like style and adventure and all of that. So the book we're going to talk about today is the newest book under the Rick Riordan Presents label, and it is the first book in the Gifted Clans series. It is called The Last Fallen Star by Gracie Kim. Riley O cannot wait to see her sister get initiated into the Gom clan, which is a powerful lineage of Korean healing witches that their family belongs to. Her sister Hattie will finally earn her Gi bracelet, which will allow her to finally cast spells on her own without adult supervision. Riley wants nothing more than to follow in her sister's footsteps. However, she was adopted, so she is considered a serum, which is a person who does not have any magic. Even though she has memorized every healing spell that she can and knows all of the different things that they need to learn in their family, she feels like the black sheep of the family because she is the only one who cannot practice magic and has the healing gift in her community. This is when Hattie, her sister, gets a bright idea. The two sisters want to cast a spell that will allow Riley to share Hattie's magic. So when they go snooping, they find an incantation in their family's old spell books that could allow them to do this. So on Hattie's initiation day, they are going to perform this spell, and then no one will be able to treat Riley as if she is different or as if she's an outside ever again. So basically, it's the perfect plan. Until it isn't. So when the sisters attempt to violate the laws of the realm, Hattie's life is literally hanging in the balance, and it is up to Riley to fulfill an impossible task to get her back, to find the last fallen star. But no one exactly knows what the star even is, or where to find it, or anything really, for that matter. So when Riley sets out on her journey to save her sister, she ends up finding some amazing creatures and also collaborating with some of her worst enemies. And when she uncovers the secrets that challenge everything that she's ever known, Riley must decide what it means to be a witch, what it means to be family, and what it means to belong. Okay? And that is it today for new middle grade mythology books. If you liked these book talks, keep watching because we have more coming out this summer, and feel free to go and look back at previous ones that we've done. We're talking all about middle grade and YA new books coming out this summer. And until next time, happy reading.